fear and getting punched in your face, they're both an acquired taste. Just gotta get used to it. And then once you get used to it, you start to love it. I love it.
He's an acquired taste, smiling and having a good time. He's always made wrestling look easy.
I'm not a beer drinker. Can I switch it to a soft drink? This guy's a Mountain Dew.
I grew up rugged, always in a fight, always ready to step out of the box. But I've been doing that my whole life. I grew up in rural New Jersey, Prison City. You do not want these problems. You do not want these problems. It's a rough place. To make it out and make it out far, you gotta be tough as nails. And it's as simple as that. My friends, we grew up, fighting other towns, and luckily I found wrestling. But for me to find wrestling, it's kind of out the blue. I was a football player and played baseball. I even dabbled in soccer. When I found wrestling, it's really what changed my life. One of my buddies, he wrestled. We was in his backyard and we was tussling a little bit. I wound up slamming him on his back, and his dad was like, yo, you should come out and wrestle. I stepped on the mat and I was pretty good from the very beginning. I love football more, but I wasn't a better football player than I was wrestler. So I'm not dumb, I was good at it, so I was like, I'm gonna just stick with it. I know the opportunities that it was gonna give me over being a 5'9" football player, 150 pounds soaking wet.
I've known him since we were 13. From the day I've met him, he's got that fighter spirit.
Got a chip on my shoulder, bro. I remember when I was younger, I used to always get kicked out of the groups because I was always trying to be with the older guys. But I always found a way in. And me finding my way in, that just turned me into a savage. I was 3-time state champion, the #1 kid coming out of high school. I went to North Carolina State, 4 ACC titles, never lost in the ACC. I was 10-0. Won a national title at North Carolina State, 2-time All-American. And then, after college, I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to do that, but guy had other plans, right?
He comes out of the NCAA, and he's got one of the biggest wins, one of the biggest upsets in NCAA history. Took out a guy called Brett Metcalf. Metcalf wanted to go to the Olympics. So I believe that Caldwell looked at it and said, look, every year I'm gonna have to deal with this same guy that I just beat. So if I just beat him, I can live with my legacy, and I'm gonna go over and give MMA a try.
Presenting Darrion Caldwell.
Wrestling, you gotta beat the best guy to win $5 grand.
Here we go!
But in a sport like MMA, I can go out there and in 2 years create a lifestyle that I know wrestling's not gonna give me. So I thought,
Boy, that's a fast shot.
why can't I go out there and do it?
It is almost impossible to make a living as a wrestler. To support yourself, to possibly have a family, no.
The end of the college career was the end of your wrestling career. He has been given that underdog analogy so many times.
Darrion Caldwell.
They say you're not going to do it or you can't do it.
Spectacular performance.
4 years in, before I was even 30, I was Bellator world champion. Defended it twice, but man, I started my career in wrestling, and I would like to end my career in wrestling. Age could be whatever you want it to be, right? I'm 37 years old. I've never stopped training. This is a perfect opportunity to get back in the sport that I love. And I like to do it beating the best guys in the sport.
Age is not just a number. Age is very real in wrestling for most people. But Darrion Caldwell is a very select group of DNA. And I don't think that Real Woods loves that.
Real said, this ain't no nostalgia tour. I responded, the only reason you get to say that is because real men weren't here to shut you up.
Wow. Those are some powerful words from Real Woods.
I don't know, he's talking about my age. He's calling me Unc.
All I'm gonna say is, be careful when you call out some of these uncles, because they ain't built the same as some of the ones today.
I don't know why Real challenged Caldwell. If you wanted to get out their resumes, who did more? The answer is Darrion Caldwell.
He really thinks that I've just been sitting around doing nothing this whole time. I haven't collected the world championships when he was in diapers. He doesn't know how to anaconda choke. He doesn't know certain things that I know. So I feel like being able to venture out into a different sport and be gone for 15 years, it actually worked into my advantage. He'll never catch up. Never catch up. I do have a God-given ability, but I definitely worked hard. I'm the guy that could come off the couch, belly full of hot dogs, you know, fingers full of butter, you know, fresh off popcorn. I'm the guy that come off the couch and do it. Matter of fact, I would go to Albuquerque and smack him in the face. But that was the old me. Now I'm the family man. Being a family man is the best thing in life, dude. We talked about having kids. We talked about having a little version of her following me around and then a version of me following her around, and we got exactly that. I wake up to be a dad, I come to work to be a dad, I wrestle to be a dad. Just being able to see my son smile, you know, my daughter just barely started to catch eye contact. She's a feisty one. Man, you know, these stages are so critical in their life. We're trying to create a championship family. One of the things we stress in our house is perseverance over setback. He needs to see his dad go out there and fight and struggle and overcome, because that's what ultimately builds champions.
His age bounces off the page, but so does NCAA champion, and that's another thing in the category and favor of Darrion Caldwell.
Why I'm excited to see him wrestle again, he has a dynamic, different way of doing things.
145-pound weight class has been mid, if you ask me, for the last 15 years, and I feel like the fans have been missing that electrifying athlete.
Once you can deal with being punched in the face and learn how to give off that same energy, then you can really understand what it takes to be the next champion.
I want to win in devastating fashion.
Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind, this my prime.
And when it comes to Real, I'll give him a shot. He could do all the talking he wants, but I'm gonna go out there and put my hands on Real, and he's gonna feel something he's never felt before. I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of Real Woods. His drunk uncle about to whoop his ass.
Tickets are available now. Go to Ticketmaster.com for details.